Hey everyone, Ashley May and Mike Beer here with the Daily Racing Forum. 8 graded stakes races this Saturday out at Gulfstream Park, and race 8 is one of them. We'll take a look at the grade 2 Davona Dale with the 3-year-old fillies in the spotlight, going the one-turn mile. And Mike, there's only a field of 7 here, but there's 2 really big names on paper, that in the form of Lucara off her impressive Suncoast win, and the 6 Ballerina d'Oro, who is supposed to race in the Rachel Alexandra, and scratch and opts for this spot.
Yeah, in a lot of ways, the 6 is just the key to the race, actually, because not only is she in a position here where she can confirm that she really is a dirt horse after running really well in her dirt debut the last time we saw her, but she also, has to prove that, everything's in order after being forced to scratch. I think it was due to a fever, Chad Brown said. And so she just had to stay here, and she's missed a few weeks.
We'll take a look at the Timeform U.S. pace projections for the grade 2 Davona Dale, and a fast pace is projected. I think partially because it is a 1 mile, that's one turn at Gulfstream Park, but there's a fair bit of speed on paper. You have the Queen's MG, who was chasing the action in the very hot Forward Gal last time out at 7 Ace. The 2 Frida was part of that race, and then the 4 Lucara. I don't know, Mike, if she's necessarily as quick as the other 2 that we mentioned, but I think off the Suncoast victory where she just kind of coasted to the front and stayed in front, she should be close early.
Yeah, probably gets the right trip no matter how the pace plays out. I don't really know if I agree with this pace projector or not, Ashley. We'll see how fast they do wind up going. What I do know is that I don't think I really care if the pace is fast or slow as far as the contenders are concerned. This is it's a 7-horse field. It feels like there are 3 horses who can win and then 4 horses who can't.
We'll start it off here with the Queen's MG, taking a look at the Forward Gal last time out. Eclatant, a very nice winner, actually went off at a decent price in the spot. And in terms of the Queen's MG, I thought overall it was a good performance. Obviously, she hangs in here for third. She keeps to task. It was her first start as a 3-year-old filly, but the question is now she's going to stretch back out in distance. Maybe the 1 turn helps her. I'm not sure she wants to go 2 turns, that's for sure. So maybe that's why they opted for this spot.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, she deserves a chance to try the 1-turn mile again here. It's not like when they tried it at Aqueduct at the end of last year. It's not like she ran poorly in there. She was just third best. I don't know. She's obviously one of the major players in this race, and she can get a more forward trip this time, perhaps, which will make a little bit of a difference. She's actually good. She was an underrated 2-year-old. She's a real player in this race if she can see out the mile.
The 2 Frida made an appearance as a 2-year-old. She was second best in that 4.5 furlong sprint. And then she actually went to the sidelines for quite some time. We saw her at the beginning of 2025, a dominating winner, but she took no love in the Forward Gal. I didn't circle her there in that replay, Mike, because she didn't really do all that much running when it was all said and done. So not sure what to make out of her. She didn't take a huge regression in terms of figures, but she'll obviously need to show more.
Yeah, her first 2 races I thought were only okay against weaker competition. They tried stepping her up last time, and she was just no match for those horses. This race might be even tougher than that one.
The 3 My Denise up next. She's just had that 1 start also in the Forward Gal. I guess in terms of her performance, she was towards the back of the pack and then tried to make a run, was unable to close. I'll be very curious to see the tactics. She was forward 3 starts back from the gate, but obviously they went a little bit slower early, 24-3, 48-1, and she was able to be part of it. But I think she's in a tough spot if she's going to be as far back as she was last time out.
Yeah, I mean, she won't be able to beat this field from there. Listen, she was 50-1 last time and was a non-factor, and she's just back in another spot here where it feels like she can't win.
The 4 Lucara, will take a look at her most recent performance, and it was her first start as a 3-year-old filly down at Tampa Bay Downs on the Tampa preview day down there, and obviously she put on a clinic. Somehow she didn't go off as the favorite, and I will say the race changed with the way that her laugh broke from the gate. She had problems. She ends up rallying for second, but this looks like a pretty much a paid workout for Lucara.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you're right to point out that her laugh, who was favored there, did have a real excuse in the race. The question is, was it even going to matter? I don't even know if it was going to matter the way that Lucara ran in there. She was really, really sharp off the layoff last time. She does not need the lead to be effective. So if that pace projector is right and they just sort of out sprint her early, I just don't really feel like it matters. She was really good last time, and she's super dangerous right back.
The 5 Madeline's Promise, this one for Dale Romans. He actually sends out a pair in here. She's able to graduate last time out at the $50,000 maiden claiming ranks, and prior to that, she really never fired in her starts, and it's kind of curious to see where that performance came from. It was second time Lasix. She showed that early foot, and I don't know what to do with it, because the performance 2 back, that was at a mile. Last time out was at 6.5, and This is maybe a little bit of a tall task for her first off that win.
Yeah, it seemed like the drop in class, really made a difference for her last time. And it also helps when they just let you get absolutely loose on the lead going 6.5 furlongs. I mean, she just didn't really have to work that hard to win. She's pretty hard to take in here, stepping up this much in class.
The 6 Ballerina d'Oro will show her most recent performance, which was at the end of her 2-year-old season in New York at Aqueduct. And in terms of her performance in the Demoiselle, she's the runner-up. Just looking at her physically, she's obviously a lot smaller than Mahima, who's on the front end here, just came back and ran okay, in my opinion, in the Honeybee. But I guess my one knock on Ballerina d'Oro, curious to get your thoughts, is a 1-turn mile for her. I just feel like looking at this performance, she's a 2-turn horse.
Yeah, and it seemed like Chad, obviously that was the plan anyway, wasn't it? To come back off the left and go 2 turns over at Fairgrounds, and she spiked the fever, had to scratch, and so she missed a little time too. So yeah, those are all things to be concerned with, especially on this track. If she's going to be trying to come from last, that doesn't always work at Gulfstream Park. That being said, I just thought she ran great in the Demoiselle, and if she does turn out to be a dirt horse, and if she can back that performance up, she's going to be really tough in here.
Then rounding out the field is the 7 Quins Promise, the other Dale Romans trainee, who was 3rd last time out in that first level allowance. Mile and a 16th, though, is going to cut back in distance. And I don't know if I necessarily hate this move or love this move. I feel like this filly could at least maybe get a trip where she's sitting just off the pace and makes one late run. I think when you kind of compare her to the big 2 in here, La Cara, Ballerina d'Oro, her just figures don't stand up.
Yeah, it just doesn't, and she lacks, even with some of the other horses, at least maybe you can project some upside. And this filly doesn't even really have much of that after 7 starts. I don't know. I mean, I hate to, sit here and talk about the longer prices, and not have anything really positive to say about them. But this just looks like a race that goes through the 3 logical horses.
We'll take a look at our top picks here for the Davona Dale, and it obviously comes down between La Cara and Ballerina d'Oro. We both go to La Cara, and I don't know exactly what your thought process is, but I think off her basically paid win last time out to just breeze around the track, she was very impressive. You talked about it. She's versatile. She can be off the pace. She can be on the front. And I just think comparing her to Ballerina d'Oro, I think it really comes down to that 1-turn mile, helping La Cara, maybe working against the 6.
Yeah, exactly. She has that going for her. She's going to be, more forward in this race as well. So maybe gets the jump on that rival. And then Ballerina d'Oro also has the, the recent scratch and the fever and all that stuff to contend with. It's an interesting matchup between these two because I think they're both pretty good. I just gave the edge to the 4.
Ice cold tries for Mike and I. 4, 6, 1 on top. I'll use the 3 underneath in the 4 spot. I'll use the 7. It's race 8 this Saturday at Gulfstream Park, the Davona Dale. Good luck.